Hey guys, welcome back to Micho Makes. My name is Micho. I like to make stuff. Today we've got part number 71 of the Toyota Sprinter Trueno AE86 by DeAgostini. This is the 1/8 scale massive model that we're building together, and without further ado, let's just jump right into this one. Alright, starting off, we've got our cover here. Got another, actually a sealed box this time, so we'll go ahead and pop this open. And this is a pretty big piece right here. Alright. Not your traditional one that we've seen. Whoops. Alright. Oh, yeah, take a look at that. Part number 71. It is a big piece of frame. Look at that. We'll take a look at it in detail in just a second. Alright, and let's take a look at the magazine. Alright, let's take a look at the magazine. Okay, looks like we have a feature on the engines here. I did take a peek at this real quick just to kind of be more informed about like what this whole part is about, because it's actually pretty in depth. I'll go ahead and make sure this is in frame and in focus for you if you want to read it. Just double check and make sure it's good, focused. There you go. One thing that was really kind of cool was that there's a nomenclature of laser, but basically they call it laser, but it means lightweight advanced super engine. And really to talk about the, this is the 1G EU engine, and this looked like a single overhead cam, but there was a variation of the dual overhead cam and how that was really important, because the engineers in Toyota were tasked for like a lightweight, fuel efficient, and also really good engine. And you can see them mentioning stuff about dual overhead cams too as well. How they went from timing chains to timing belts. And this next part over here. And really kind of the evolution from the 1G GE engine, and this is a dual overhead cam right here. This one. Go ahead and take a look at that in detail. You can see that we have a Celica engine, a Celica right here too as well, where a lot of these engines were lived, but also taking a look at the evolution and the adoption of dual overhead cam and the kind of start of the 1G GEU, moving from like a carbureted function to a electronic fuel injection too as well. They start mentioning TIVIS down here at the bottom paragraph right here, and kind of the evolution of TIVIS too as well, and how that's really important for intake timing and getting more power band, kind of a top end power out of these lightweight engines. Move on this side over here, and just basically how this kind of flows into the 4AGE AE86. How did that kind of come about in these vehicles too as well? But feel free to pause the video, use Google Translate to take a look and read about them. Here's I believe it's a Camry, 3S FE, an A6 Camry. Really cool to kind of see how the evolution of these engines came about, and hope Toyota keeps making engines. I know they have a lot of fuel efficiency adjustments that they need to make with the current generation and standards, but those are the golden times of the subcompact cars. Okay, looks like we have our part here, and looks like we have a lot of a really big piece. Oops, I'm just gonna leave that down to install. It is an extension piece off of the brackets that we have here on the back. that. And actually, it looks like we're adding in the back seats to the front and then adding in this layer too as well. So pretty decently sized part here. And it looks like we're really kind of getting the interior set. Look at the front and rear seats, and then also kind of that trunk area too as well. Okay, cool. So it looks like we also have installation of the bucket seats. Now I do just want to do one. I do want to do the driver's seat only. We have some pieces here that we'll need to install. You can kind of see, oh, cool. You can see how they're going to do that kind of harness in this direction here. You add in the brackets down there too as well, and how it's kind of set. We'll do one of those. Oh yeah, see, okay, there you use the option. You can say, hey, do it like I have planned, which is basically do the driver's seat in a bucket and then the passenger seat in the stock one. And so I think I'm going to do that. But overall, looks pretty good. And we got the back of that book. So we'll go ahead and grab this piece real quick and get started. Okay, there is no lid on this one, which is nice. I always kind of seem to struggle with those, but let's make sure this is in focus for you. So let's just pull this out. It's a pretty large piece, pretty thick actually too. It is plastic, 100%. You can take a look at some of the details here. Good casting overall. I really like how consistent they were in the coloring too as well. Pretty fragile though. I mean, I want to make sure that it's going to get reinforced obviously by the other parts too. But looks like obviously the transmission tunnel here, and then the trunk's going to go that way. All right. Also, with this one piece that we have in the set, we have some CP screws, and we have some AP screws. All right, let's get started and get our get this going right now. Okay, first things first, we've got our front section here. We're actually going to be taking this, and they just said, hey, make sure you get these alignment marks done here correctly, and you just kind of place this here. You can kind of see where it mates. And then we take these CP screws, and we have to flip this over, fortunately, and get these attached on these 4 connection points. One here, one here, one here, and one here. So go and get that done. Luckily, you can stand up pretty nice like that. Okay, got those 4 screws in, and you can kind of get a good sense of the length in this kind of wide angle. This is the widest angle I have, really, and that doesn't include the front of the car with the engine and everything. So got a lot. It's gonna be pretty big, man. Okay, so then we take our rear seats here, excuse me, and looks like we just kind of place it in here. You can see the locations of the screw holes right there, and they're going to be placed right in there. Kind of make sure this is up. You can tell it looks like it just nests in there. I'm going to make sure I turn my page to make sure I'm not doing it incorrectly. AP screws here. Alright, now this is going to be the kind of hard part, is making sure get this seat held. Like so. I've got screw holes just like that. If I can get one threaded, it'll make it a lot easier for the other ones. I'll start at the bottom and work my way in. Okay, now I have 2 in, which is nice. It's kind of holding it, and I'll get everything else started, and then I'll make sure it gets all aligned properly, and then I will finish them off. All right, take a look at that. You can push these seats back and push these seats back too. And we have somewhat of a nice interior there. Look at that. Looks really good. We're not done yet. I want to replace the seat with the racing bucket. I want to pick this one because it actually looks really good. Right here. So let's get that started. I'm looking at the pictures down here real quick, and it looks like, give me a second, let me look at this over real quick. Okay, for the racing bucket driver's side here, we're gonna need to grab these arm screws, and I'm pretty sure there are some still on here, but I just got them anyways. BP screws, and then these little kind of brackets, and I'll show you what's going to happen with those in just a second, and obviously the seat. So first things first, we actually have to remove the seat itself, because we have to remove this one off these rails. Okay. And we can remove the seats here, and we're going to need these rails here. I'm going to make sure I save those other screws. We're going to be removing these from here. Okay, got that disconnected from the stock seat. We're going to be placing these right on here. And I believe these are, yeah, they sure look like the same ones. I don't think there are any. They look exactly the same. But you know, they call for the arm screws on there, so I might just use those instead. We do get a lot of them because they are being used for both seats. I'm only using one set. Now for these, again, there's sliders technically, so I'm not going to tighten these down very hard. This seat adjustment rail here too is metal, and so this is plastic, as mentioned previously. Make sure it bites, but also it clears, and you can tell this one's not fully down yet. I don't want to have it too far down where it doesn't move, or this binding. So yeah, let's screw this down a little bit more. Alright, that looks pretty good. Doesn't look like it's been binding anywhere. Okay, so we've got these rails on. I'm going to put these screws away real quick, just because I don't want to lose any if I need some more. Okay. Okay, so after we get those in, we'll place this rail back on, just like so. one thing they do call out, so we'll start actually do this first. So I realized what these were too. These are actually one thing I want to point out too is that we'll zoom in. Is that this is the seatbelt holder? You can just completely remove this. This one can just be removed completely because we're going to be putting these in. And what these are, I didn't realize at first. You can take a look at them. These actually, you see that little break right there? These actually are supposed to get bent to a 90-degree angle. We'll do that one real quick. And they are metal, so they do bend. And so you're going to bend this to about a 90-degree angle like that. And we're only going to need 2 because they gave us 4. See that? 90 degrees. Alright, we'll put these other 2 away. And I'll show you what you're supposed to do with these. So, what we can do with the front, we don't need to worry about anything like that. We take a BP screw. Right here. And we can secure the front down on both sides. Alright, front looks great. We actually just pushed the seat up forward this way. So you can tell that we do not have the back secured. So we're actually going to take a couple more BP screws. And we're going to be placing these in the back. Like so. Just like that. The ring up. I'm going to take a look and see what orientation this is actually set at. Okay, I was correct. It's going to be like this. Oh, sorry, can't see it. I'll actually bring the camera down instead. So the orientation is going to be like this. Just like that. And we are going to be securing these straps down here. Grab one of these BP screws. Push this as far up as I can so I can actually get some clearance. See if I can do this. And one thing they did call out, one thing they did call out is you could again remove the seat belt holder back there. I'm going to use a longer one up here. There you go. Got the little secure bracket there in the back. Okay, we'll do the same thing on the other side. All right, got that set. So, with those 2 brackets in place, let me show it to you real quick. Make sure it's nice and focused for you. We're going to take these rear straps of the harness here, and we're just going to feed them through just like that. can kind of see that that's get attached, and they're going to perform an X because this is the left shoulder going over to the right, and then this one gets fed through other side here. All right, and that's secure. You can kind of see, we can pull this down a little bit. It's popping out a little bit. And if you want to do the other side, you do the same thing. We've got it's secure down here, and then the back here. And this is our racing harness. Obviously, I did not remember. I did not tape that down on the seat. I think it looks fine just like that. It doesn't need it. It doesn't really need it. But that is our interior build of the 86. Now you got the racing bucket in the driver's seat, and you've got the standard seat there. Let's take a look at this whole thing. Cool. Look at that. Got the back area that we're raring to go on that. We've got our front bucket seat on the driver's side with the harness kind of crisscross in the back. Then you've got the passenger side with the regular bucket. So you get a kind of a good mix. You got the racing steering wheel, you know. Oh, actually, let's just push this back a little bit. Oh, yeah. Look at that interior. Let me just zoom in to show you the details. Actually, what I'll do is I'll lift the camera up just a little bit more and zoom in. Now, if I didn't tell you this is a model, let me just drop the seat a little bit so you can see it. If I didn't tell you that was a model, it'd be really hard to tell. We'll check out different focus areas too. The bucket seat right there. Doesn't that look really cool? Such a detailed model. But that is part number 71 of the Toyota Sprinter Trueno AE86 by DeAgostini. I want to thank you guys for joining me today for this part. Got a lot done. Only one part, really, this back part, but we assembled a lot of stuff. Put in the racing bucket in the driver's seat, and really kind of gave it a good a good once over, and I think it's come along really, really well. But you know, what do you think? Leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe if you haven't. Really do appreciate your support in building this. Let's take a look and see what part number 72 has for us. Oh. If you don't know what that is a piece of the rear seat back here. It's going to be one of these pieces going back here, but stay tuned for that. Thank you very much for joining me today. We'll see you guys in part number 72. Bye for now.